Hi, everyone. Today, on this segment of Sharing Saturday, we're going to go back to the mind portion of the mind spirit triangle. And I'm just wanting to talk to you about something that I happened to run across. The month of September is designated as National Recovery Month by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, whose mission it is to increase awareness and understanding of mental health and substance abuse disorders and celebrate people who recover. They have an annual theme, which is to join the Voices for Recovery, invest in health, purpose, and community. On this website, if you have a chance to peruse it, it's at www.recoverymonth.gov, and I've included that in my post here to make it easy for you. On there, you'll find that there's a behavioral treatment locator where you could find clinicians or programs that could help out with substance abuse or mental health issues. And they also have a national hotline at 1-800-662-4357. Now, the reason I want to come back to this is that mental health does matter. I see this as in my experience as a paramedic, over the years, when I started 24 years ago, we maybe had one or two psychiatric cases a month that we dealt with. Now it has grown exponentially where it is somewhere every day, some department somewhere is being called for psychiatric evaluation, take somebody to hospital, whether it's on their own accord or it's through involuntary committal. And the same thing in my experience as a personal trainer, I run across this often where you see a client that might not be just acting right, or they're hitting these stumbling blocks, they're hitting this brick wall when it comes to their progression in their program. I'm also, and I've mentioned this before, a peer support volunteer for Illinois Firefighter Peer Support, and we also address mental health issues within the first responder community through educational outreach and one-to-one peer support intervention. And what we'll do with that is you sit down with a peer, and if they request you, you sit down with them and you just have a conversation, and you let them know that it's okay not to be okay. And sometimes there's something that we could help them by help them establish a wellness plan moving forward, or sometimes we have to refer them to a licensed clinician. As a personal trainer, I'll try to take and draw from those experiences, and I will work with a client that way. Now, I cannot, as a personal trainer, be their therapist, but I could suggest to them, maybe you might want to see somebody. Sometimes somebody has an eating disorder, or they're overwhelmed and they're at a stumbling block in their program, and they just can't move forward. They could be going through grief through the loss of a loved one, loss of a job, loss of a marriage, and these are things that they would be best served to sit down and talk to somebody about their issues. Again, my own experience as a firefighter paramedic over the years, at some point I got a little bit overwhelmed, and I did sit down with a clinician. Now, that took a lot, and I'm just going to tell you this when it comes to you. If you're somebody out there that's listening, comes your own personal experience, or you're where you're at in your life, it takes a tremendous amount of courage to step forward and say, hey, I don't have this today. I'm going to need some help. There is, whether you're within the first responder community or whether you're just in the world at large, admitting that you need some help in the mental health arena is sometimes seen as a sign of weakness. There's a stigma attached to that, and I'm going to tell you, the biggest thing that I relate to anybody that I talk to or share my story with is it's okay not to be okay. And it's okay to admit that, hey, that you need some help. And that's what we're there for as a peer support person. That's what I'm there. Lend them an ear, and then from there, refer them, and then stay in contact for a little bit until they're on more solid ground. And once we turn them over to the capable hands of a licensed clinician, then from there, unless they want to stay in contact with us, it gradually is just they will continue on, hopefully, with that clinician and move forward. When it comes to sharing your story, not everybody is comfortable with sharing it with their peers or a peer support person, but you want to do it in a safe space. And that, again, that would be with a licensed clinician. That's a place to start at now. Peer support itself, we're making great leaps and bounds within the first responder community, but it's something that's been around for a long time. You have Alcoholics Anonymous, you have Substance Abuse, Gambling Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous. These are all places where people go. It is an anonymity. They use their first name. They don't use anything else, but they get put together with a sponsor, and that sponsor is your peer. When we're talking about peer support, it is nothing new. Again, just talk about you're going across to your neighbor. Hey, you know what? I'm looking for somebody that can do tile work for me. And they might say, you might put that out there. People do it now on the World Wide Web. They'll get on Facebook pages that have places that you go to, hey, I'm looking for somebody to do insulation, somebody cut my grass, somebody do my plumbing. Do you have anybody out there that can help me? And people will respond back. That's peer support at its basic sense. Going sitting on the porch talking to your neighbor about whatever's on your mind. It's been around forever, so it's nothing that's really new. It just gets put sometimes into a formal setting, and people can get nervous about that when you start talking about mental health issues. Again, it's part of that triangle we talked about with the mindfulness, trying to live in that present moment, taking mindful walks like I showed you with Vino, just being in tune with everything that's out there. But when it comes to a little bit greater on that mind, this dimension in the mental health arena, just know that it's okay not to be okay. One of the things that we saw with September 11th, 2001, that brought to light what was known as vicarious trauma, where you might not be directly involved, you might not be there to actually witness that trauma, but we all did see it unfold for weeks and for months and months and months on the news afterward. And you know, a lot of us took that on. I think there's not a lot of people out there that didn't get affected in some way or another. And then now these issues are starting to creep up for people. And again, it's okay not to be okay. Mental health is just as important as your physical health that we talked about in my last post, which you have that nutrition, exercise. Mental health is part of self-care. And self-care is a personal responsibility for everybody. Nobody out there is going to tell you need to do that. Now, you might go to your doctor and you're developing a chronic issue or a chronic disease. Maybe that blood sugar is a little bit too high or your blood pressure is creeping up there, and they're going to tell you you need to exercise. But it's going to be your personal responsibility to carry that out. And that's where you want to seek out the services of whoever can best help you with that, whether you're just taking that exercise video and starting from there, starting slowly. Same thing with your mental health. Maybe you want to sit down with a peer and then go from there. And then if you need to move up into working with a licensed clinician, we want to try to have the best quality of life possible, especially as we get older, we age. But we're finding that it's, you know, these mental health issues are out there in very, very, very young age. So you want to be aware of that. If you're a first responder out there, again, you have Illinois Firefighter Peer Support, or there's many other peer support agencies across the country. If you're not from Illinois, you also have the recoverymonth.gov, where they have plenty of resources out there for you. But I encourage you wholeheartedly to come out of those shadows if you can, and take that step forward to trying to live as balanced as a life as possible. I hope this helped. Hey, if you have any questions, you could reach me on the Facebook page here, or direct message me, or through my email. But again, on this Sharing Saturday, let's take a look at and pause to talk about recovery. You may know somebody personally that needs to come out of that shadows. Maybe just you sending them this information may help them. So with that, take care and be well, and I'll see you next time.